Hello Internet, welcome back to our Magiclysm playthrough. I did sleep between episodes. In the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, we took that purifier, which absolutely devastated our body. We were hungry and sleepy and sick, and so I did sleep again just because sleeping has been taking so long lately, and I didn't want to have to do that on camera. Got some stuff going on outside, so hopefully that's not making too much noise. I think we're about done with this lab. I think we have 1 floor left. We should eat something before we go. And then we will be heading to our the other lab. I think we should eat these cracklins. I think old food is safe. I don't think there's anything wrong with eating old food. It is a lot of calories, and we are back to normal weight, so I feel comfortable eating a little bit more food, and I imagine our health has pretty well balanced out at this point. So let's get a lot of calories in us, and then we'll eat some voluminous food as well, just to stave off our hunger. Why? It looks like there are many more cracklins. Why didn't that show up in my menu? Oh, they're at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good for food at the moment. Inventory looks pretty okay. We, of course, need to repair these things, but we're going to probably put that off until we move back to the other lab. So I was thinking about how we want to transport all of our many, many items that we have picked up over the course of looting this lab. We have quite a lot of stuff that we want to take with us. We have more filthy CBMs than I thought we did, some of which are pretty valuable. Like, I would really like the surgical scalpels. I'd really like to get this torsion ratchet fixed back up and put back in us. We can do that all when we go back to the other lab, of course. But I was thinking about how do we transport all this stuff over what is many, 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 many tiles. Like literally a full overmap tile. I think we want to construct so when I make a crane, I often will just plop down a vehicle and put a box or install the thing on it and then just drag the frame. And I was wondering if we're capable of dragging 2 frames at once. And so I think what we want to do is construct some wooden frames because they'll be much more lightweight, and construct 2 of them like in a line and then put baskets on them and fill them with stuff and see if we can drag the 2 box vehicle with us. It's possible that it will be too heavy, especially given that we have tons and tons of like poundage worth of stuff. But it is possible that we would be able to drag a 2-tile vehicle. And worst case scenario, we just lop 1 section off and we go with a 1-tile vehicle. So we definitely want to do that to increase our storage space of what we can take back to the other base. But I'm not sure what is possible and what is not possible. We'll look into that when we're done cleaning the lab. For now, we're just going to head back upstairs and try to finish clearing out this last level. Yep, so we're going to head back upstairs. I think there's only 1 more floor, so head back upstairs. Again, inventory looks pretty okay. Yeah, I mean, the syringe isn't a big deal. Oh, full of vegetable beef stew. Just ate. And I'm getting ready to record, catch up on my recording, which I've been pretty behind on. This looks like we cleared this already. Yeah, so next floor, this is where we stopped. Did we check the vending machines? I think we headed south, if I remember right, because we wanted to clear in directions. Where did I? Oh, in here in the kennel. Yeah, you're okay. That's right, we found a library, which I believe we fully cleared. I'm not going to check because I don't care. We'll head over here. I mean, honestly, at this point, we have so much stuff. Fungus, I'm out. Despite the fact that I have fungus creatures turned off, they actually will still spawn in lab locations. This is a fungus tile. And there's nothing you can do about that. And as far as I know, even just the tiles can make you sick and things. I might be wrong about that, but people have told me that you can still get sick from that. So we're just going to stay away from that because although we have antifungals, why would I even bother? There's nothing really beneficial that's going to be over there that we haven't seen already in the lab. And that's ultimately kind of why I'm getting over the lab, is that we've hit, I mean, at this point, probably like a dozen barracks. We have more rounds for 5.56 than we will ever shoot, just from the few turrets that we've cleared out. We have quality guns, mostly. The only thing that, again, I would really like is a more advanced 5.56 rifle. Why don't we take the filtered, what do you call them, cartridges? Take those with us. Paper, looks like they were cardboard boxes. We're not going to take the heavy battery. We already have them. Welding goggles, no. If it was a welder, maybe, but... and we're just going to continue clearing things out. More purifier. I really did not think the purifier would get rid of all of our mutations. I feel like kind of like we got screwed because in one, I think it was just 1 or 2 episodes, we lost all the CBMs that we had in us, which we replaced then with these CBMs, but you know, still sucks. And then the next episode, we took the purifier and we're completely removed all of our mutations. So it's like, what, you know, it was pointless for us to ever put in CBMs or mutations. It was all removed in a matter of an episode or 2. Kevlar Zombie. Not great, because they act as brutes. A blow from the Kevlar Zombie sends you flying, slammed against the concrete wall. 11 points of damage is really not a lot. We're going to run. You stand up. Yeah. You should probably stand up first before you run. Go ahead and shoot him. Not really super concerning. I think they do have pretty good armor. But with our abundance of ammunition, it's really not a big deal for us to, you know, even if it took 20 shots, it's not even a blip in our ammo pool. Again, I think they can be harvested for Kevlar, but we have so much Kevlar available to us because of the barracks that it's really not even, it's just not relevant. Smash whatever that is. Security guards, pocket guide to first aid. Looks like we don't have this. But we're probably beyond what it would need anyway, what it would give us skill-wise. Yeah, catching up on recordings. Just behind, you know. It's funny because, like, I have free time still. It's just time I couldn't record. So, like, I've been sitting around the house a lot. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I started watching television and movies, usually about once a year. I will try to catch up on all the movies and TV that I've missed. Like, I'll just binge over the course of like a week or 2 or 5, honestly. And so, like, I watched Chernobyl. Chernobyl was pretty good. It was a little boring, but I'm fascinated. Like, I could see that a lot of people might not like that, but like, I find it fascinating, so I liked it. Then I watched Mindhunter, which was pretty good, although the second season was a lot more boring than the first season. I thought the first season was better. Although, again, there are things you like and dislike, you know, from season to season, but it was mostly okay. Not as much as I had hoped for. And then yesterday I watched Brightburn, which was like, I mean, I don't want to spoiler it. Like, when I saw the trailers, I didn't know what it was. But then when someone told me what it was, I immediately was like, oh, that makes sense. I know what that is. Like, so I don't think this is a spoiler. We're not going to talk about it. Basically, okay, so something is smashing in here. Are we still wielding? We need to get the SIG back out. We need to be careful. Bio operator, exactly what I was afraid of. You hear, oh, from the north you hear thump. I read that and said, I thought it said something about my mouth, and I was like, oh, did he hit me in the mouth? Unfortunately, our stamina is already damaged due to us smashing, which was foolish of me to come directly in here. I think we're going to back out and then rest, just because we really need to maintain our stamina for evasion when we're in situations like this. Very cautiously approach the hole. I'm guessing it's in this barrack. Yeah, so let's run. Yeah, I figured you were going to hit me. Hit your torso. You're knocked to the floor. Yeah, that's the real scary bit with the bio operators, is that they can continually knock you down. And then when you try to stand up, they will hit you again. Nope. Thumps are not concerning. Oh, you're not dead. I thought you went down. Let's see if we can kill it before it becomes an issue. No, back off again. Yeah, Brightburn, it was like, I had a really cool premise. I really thought it was going to be, oh, we should harvest you for CBMs. I keep forgetting you can harvest them. I bet we definitely skipped some in our previous episodes because I forgot that they give CBMs. We definitely should butcher him for CBMs. They have like the best CBM pool. The military CBMs are by far the most valuable. So definitely need to do that. I can't believe I forgot that for multiple episodes. Hopefully we didn't miss anything too good. It's probably too late to go back now. But, and I hate backtracking through the lab because you forget tiles basically right away. Okay. Yeah, Brightburn, it had a really interesting premise that I was like genuinely excited about. I thought it would be really good. And they had a lot of opportunities to be creepy. And instead of being creepy, they went like full on terrible horror movie. Like it went super gory, super over the top violence, super over the top. There's one or two death scenes that are just obscene. Like there's no reason for it to be as graphic as it was. And you could just tell. Like, I watched like a few months ago. I think it's called The Belko Experiment. It was a movie about people trapped in their workplace and people are killing each other and it's horrible. And I thought the premise was really interesting. Like, okay, people in a workplace and, you're under pressure and maybe it'll be like satirical where it's like, it's all the little idiosyncratic crap that comes with working in an office and maybe it'll be interesting. And then I watched it and it was like juvenile violence. Like it was like a 15-year-old had written a movie script. And I was super disappointed with the movie. And Brightburn reminded me of that kind of a lot. Mark II power storage is pretty good, but I would have rather had literally any other military CBM. But that's okay. I would love to get the quantum tunnel because I'm sick of pickaxing through everything. It'd be so much easier if I could just walk through walls, but it's okay. Yeah, Mark II CBM is pretty good. Power CBM. Let's pickaxe through to the barracks. Brightburn, it felt like they had a real opportunity to go like really creepy, really develop that there's something wrong with the kid. And, I expected it to be like an hour worth of, because I knew it was considered a horror movie. I thought it would be like an hour worth of backstory followed by like 25 minutes of violence and then like 5 or 10 minutes of wrap up. And that's like so far from what it was. It was like 40 minutes in, they started the gruesome murdering, and it's like the whole movie was just these juvenile killings. And I thought you didn't even tell like an interest, like your whole premise is almost completely irrelevant because it had nothing to do. Like the movie itself had so little to do with the actual premise that it was just another murder movie. And I didn't enjoy that at all. I thought, there were so many opportunities where they could have gone, like really could have had some really good creepy moments. And then every time it could have been a really creepy moment, it just evolved into hardcore violence. And it's like, well, I didn't come for this. I don't think that that's very good. We're going to grab the binoculars because we left our pair somewhere. And I don't remember where. Ammo pouch. I don't remember seeing this gun. Sabode high velocity penetrator type 8x40 millimeter. Is an 8x40 battle rifle. Never misfires. What gun is this? Oh, this is ammunition. Okay. My mistake. Unload the M17, I guess. HK416, also a minus to damage. Really would like to find a 5.56 rifle that has a plus to damage. But we'll grab that, I guess, because I don't know if we have one of those. I doubt we're going to take most of the guns with us when we move on. We'll unload the caseless submachine gun. And of course we have more 5.56 rounds. So many 5.56 rounds. 308. I don't know how many 308 rifles we actually have. This is about the 5th time we found this exact rifle with these exact mods on it. I know I've said this before, but I really wish that the... So for a while now, I've kicked around the idea of adding more pre-modded weapons. Like most of the time when you find weapons in the game, they are not modified in any way. And that's just not... In my experience, gun owners in real life love to mod their guns. And so I would expect that you would find, maybe not every time, but you're going to find a lot of pistols with special sights on them, or special grips. People love to do things with pistols. You're going to find, especially in a military barracks, weapons that have sights on them and scopes on them and bipods and things like that are going to be pretty common in a military barracks. Pick up as much of this as possible. Let's pick up 500. And okay, that's not all of it. Let's pick up 300. Still more space, huh? Let's pick up 200. Great, that'll do, I think. We'll head back. It's like, I would just like to see more modified weapons make it into that rotation, because the fact that we found this same gun over and over with the same 4 mods makes me think it's one of the only modded weapons in there. The only other one I know of is the Barrett. The Barrett usually comes with a scope and things, and like, maybe, I don't know, does it have a muzzle brake on it? I'm not sure what all it comes with, but point is, there should be more weapons with mods pre-installed on them, especially because we did expand. There's another floor, but I'm so tired of the lab. It's one of those things. It's like people do mod their guns, and when you're in a barracks or in a gun safe, I think it should have a higher chance of spawning some modified weapons. Because it's kind of hard to come by mods in Cataclysm, if I'm being honest. It's pretty rare that you find something with a sight or, there aren't that many mods in the first place, I guess. We'll drop most of this stuff. Yeah, Brightburn wasn't very good. Was mostly just disappointed with the route that they took. I felt like it could have been a much better movie. It could have been a really good movie, in my opinion. I think they had a pretty good setup. There was some interesting stuff going on, and then it just evolved into violence that made me think, like, because I'm not afraid of violence. I don't mind violence. I like horror movies. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I watched it, is that I like horror movies. But there's a difference between, like, sometimes horror movies think that if they go super gory, people will like them, and then they don't have to stand on their plot or their character development, because all that they're really focused on is the gratuity of the violence. And that's what it felt like. It felt like you had an interesting premise that, maybe somebody wrote this and it was pretty good, and then someone got a hold of it and was like, let's make this a horror movie. And they were like afraid to develop the plot. They were like, oh, it's a horror movie. If we try to go into the plot, people aren't going to watch it. And they're like, let's just go hardcore violent. The whole thing, just gratuitous. Let's make it a Saw movie or a Hostel, where like the story sucks and the main real thing that draws people is the over-the-top violence. And I was just pretty disappointed by that, because I didn't think it was that. I thought it was be more of a story-driven horror movie. Like, story-driven horror movies are the best horror movies, Don't get me wrong, I occasionally like a Saw movie, and I liked the Hostel movies when I was young, but like now that I'm older and I look at them, I just think like, this is for teenagers who think that they're edgy. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me. Maybe it wasn't for me, Maybe it just wasn't a movie that was really for me. Prisoner Containment, I guess we'll go in, because there'll be scientists we can harvest for CBMs, although they don't often have the best. I mean, they can have some pretty good CBMs, but it's really the military ones that we want to be focused on. From below, okay, I think we're above where the auto dock was, so there are some cyborgs in there yelling. Then I watched the new Child's Play, and at first I was like super disappointed, because I'm a fan of the original Child's Play movies. They're the Chucky movies, if you're not familiar, the little murder doll. And I was a fan of those when I was a kid, and some of them are okay. Like, I've watched, like, the first couple aren't terrible. I watched them not that long ago. And so I was disappointed at first, because, like, in the original movie, like, I'm not spoiling anything. This is literally, like, the first 2 minutes of the very first Chucky movie. It's like some murderer is gunned down, and as he's dying, he transfers his soul into the body of the doll. There's no scientists here. And then, of course, he's trying to get out of the doll, and that's like the whole movie, right? And so I was kind of disappointed that the new Chucky is not that. It's not. It's like, again, this is like the first 2 minutes of the movie, so don't hate me. It's not really a spoiler. The new movie starts with like an advertisement for the doll, and it's not like it's named differently. You know, it's a buddy doll now instead of a good guy doll, which I didn't like. I thought they should have stuck with the, you know, original name, and like there's no murderer involved. It's like a completely different thing, and it's like it's like a smart device that like the doll is connected to your home. Like that's the whole thing. Like I said, it's like the first minute or two is an advertisement. There's no way we can get to you with that light on because it's going to be brightly lit. Yeah, so we're just going to leave that alone. Maybe we should mark that. Not that I ever check my notes. Turret. And so yeah, I was like originally really disappointed. Like, oh, they completely removed the like murderer aspect of it, which I thought was like one of my favorite things about it, was that it was just some like crazy jerk that was like a horrible guy. But then once I started watching the movie, like Aubrey Plaza's in it. Aubrey Plaza is great. So we're on the surface. People told me that the central lab that we were in does not have a surface, that it didn't connect to the surface, that it was just underground. Wait a minute, we're not on the surface. Or we would see more than this. But this looks like the surface. This is the surface. More jillion rounds of ammunition. Let's be careful and clear these rooms before we... Okay, that's fine. Okay. No turret. No turret. Okay. I mean... let's just pickaxe out and see where we are. Maybe we haven't revealed the map around us because we're indoors. I don't think it works that way, though. Maybe we're... I mean, if we're on the surface, we could drive our vehicle over here and then just pull everything upstairs so that we're not actually... I should have gone through the door so I didn't have to contend with the rebar. So can we see? We can't see. Maybe because it's nighttime, it's not revealing around us. I don't... And how would we get over here with the river in the way? There's no guarantee that this would lead us all the way over here. So, okay. So let's think about this. Our base is way back here. We have a vehicle. And we have enough storage in that vehicle that we could load up all the stuff from that base and we could head out. We could travel over here and hope to make our way over to this lab. Now that we've revealed the area, if we come back up here during the day, it will reveal a much larger area around us, I think. And then we would be able to maybe find our way over there, and that would save us from having to walk all the way back here with all that stuff. And then try to haul it up all those stairs would be a real hassle. For now, we're going to head back down to our base. We're going to eat, drink, and sleep because we need to take care of our immediate needs. And then we will think about this. Maybe I'll think about it between episodes and try to figure things out. I didn't mark any of the stairs. Up, nope, map, notes, upstairs. So there's stairs to our south. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza's in it. I think she's lovely. Really enjoy a lot of the stuff that she's done over the years. And then, like, the actual... Like, you know, they replaced the voice actor, which I didn't like. I think Mark Hamill voices the new Chucky, and I just, you know, I liked Brad Dourif, or however you say his name. The guy, he was the original Chucky, and he played Charles Lee Ray as well, if I recall correctly. Always liked him, always liked the voice of Chucky, thought he was a good voice actor. And then, you know, originally I didn't like it at all. I kind of was disappointed with a lot of the small changes. But then I watched the movie, and, you know, it wasn't terrible. It was a horror movie. There was some really gross, you know, horror-type stuff. But there was also, like, a couple moments of, like, you know, where people say funny things, you know. Chucky movies always were mildly humorous. You know, they went for that kind of, let's also be a little funny in our horror movie. And I thought that there were some funny moments, there were some interesting moments. It was kind of comically horror, like it's horror, but it's like there's a comedy edge to it, and it wasn't as graphic as Brightburn, and I didn't think it was that bad, honestly. And then they set it up to where there could be a sequel, and I wouldn't hate that. I'd watch that. So it's like, I'm catching up on movies and TV. Brightburn was just such a disappointment. I didn't enjoy that movie at all. Kind of was really disappointed because I thought it would be one of the better horror movies this year. And then, yeah, I'm just working my way down all the list of, I see movies all the time on television or on YouTube where they advertise for a new movie, and I don't go to the theater. So it's like all that stuff kicks around in my brain until I finally, like 6 months later, I'm like, why don't we, pick that up, or why don't we rent that, or why don't we find a totally legal and completely acceptable way of watching that online. Also watched Spider-Man Far From Home. That was also not as good as I expected. It was a good movie overall, but like, I don't know if it's cinema sins or what, but now that I watch movies, I just look for plot holes and crap. And there was some like a major plot hole. Like, it just didn't make sense. But I can't talk about it without being spoilery. But what's his name? Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man we've had probably ever. And I'm really disappointed about the disputes with Sony and the Marvel movies, and how their Spider-Man's probably not going to be in the new Marvel movies and things like that. Or, it just seems like Tom Holland might not be coming back as Spider-Man, which I think is really disappointing. I haven't watched Into the Spider-Verse yet, but I've heard very good things about that. And that was, I think, specifically was a Sony movie, or whoever the dispute was with. I might not even be remembering. Oh, man, but if you don't like movies and TV, you probably didn't enjoy this episode's commentary. I think for now we're going to call the episode. In the next one, we're going to peek upstairs, see if we can reveal the map area around us. And, oh, there we go. That's not helpful. That's not really helpful at all. Because for all we know, this river wraps all the way around and blocks off this road. We don't even know if we can get over here very easily. I think it would be more prudent. Oh, man. I mean, we could take our vehicle and explore in that direction and see if we could connect. I'll think about it in between episodes. For now, we're going to call the episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I, of course, will be back with more Cataclysm content every single day of the week. And I will see you in the next episode.